A very healthy and a happy Tuesday to you. Scott Bruton in on Tameside today, and joining me is a rather special guest. I've got Phil Brooks in the studio with me as part of Men's Health Month. He's joining us from Slimming Without Women. Phil, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Scott. Thanks for inviting us in.
No, absolute pleasure to have you here. So, I mean, if you haven't heard of Slimming for Women, what is it? How would you describe it?
Slimming Without Women is a men's health group which is all about guys being together. So it's run by men for men who want to get a little bit more active, want to lose a little bit more weight, but really don't want to join one of the mainstream slimming clubs, which work, don't get me wrong, they absolutely work, but it's seen as a female environment, which stops a lot of the guys from actually starting their journey to a healthier life.
Well, I mean, it's been established for what, 4 years now? Is that right? Since 2014 it's been going?
It started in 2014 with trials from Age UK over in Oldham.
Yes.
12-week courses, which absolutely work. The guys lost weight over those 12 weeks. The trouble with everything that's funded is once the funding stopped, the course stops, and what we found was a classic yo-yo dieting scenario, so the guys were putting the weight back on again.
So it was kind of a case of, you know, the guys that were benefiting from this service, that the weight started to fluctuate, and it was just harder to keep track of things.
Oh, absolutely. And the trouble is, if you think of yourself as going onto a diet, then you sort of see a diet for a fixed term. What we're looking at is a healthier lifestyle. So yes, we want to lose weight, absolutely, but we also want to make those healthier choices around food and activity so it becomes part of our lifestyle.
So, I mean, why do you think there's that mental block there in terms of blokes? I mean, you know, why is it important to have a group that is just for men?
I think one of the big problems is that men are seen to be self-reliant and they can do it themselves. So a lot of guys won't join the clubs where they could get some extra support to actually lose that weight. So what we've found is, through these trials, that if we can offer that ongoing support, guys will get engaged with us. And it's not about losing pounds and pounds over a couple of weeks. It's about losing that pound and a half every week. And we've had some fantastic results. We've got guys here losing 4 or 5 stone over a number of years. So a pound and a half a week, that's sustainable, and that's what can be kept off.
And you personally have been on quite the journey, you know, in terms of weight loss as well. I mean, we were talking off air just before you came on, and you showed me a picture of how much you used to weigh. How much was that?
Well, at my heaviest, Scott, I was getting on for 21 stone.
Wow.
The weight just sort of crept on. As a child, I always thought I had a weight problem. When I look back at the pictures, I was probably as skinny as any kid that you could look at, but in my own head, I always had this weight problem. So I think with a self-fulfilling prophecy, that weight came on through sort of middle age, and I ended up at nearly 21 stone. Started dieting. One of the biggest things I did was we formed a fat club, should we call it, at where I used to work. So that was mainly ladies again, but that was fine for me. So I'd go and jump on the scales, and I started having a look at what I was eating.
So I mean, like, what was kind of the sticking point for you? I mean, like, you know, you must have got to this point where you were so heavy and you were thinking, right, now I need to actually start making a change. When did the straw break the camel's back for you?
I think the biggest thing for me was around confidence and self-esteem.
Yeah.
So looking back now over the years, the amount of damage that was probably done in my head through that self-esteem, feeling fat, feeling overweight, which really translated itself into broken relationships, etc., lack of confidence. So when I got the opportunity to take part in one of the trials for Slimming Without Women, which was around 18 months ago, I jumped at the chance as a volunteer with Age UK. We did the trials, which was fantastic. Personally, I lost 2 stone over that period of time. I mean, I'm now sort of getting on towards the 13 and a half, so I'm losing the sort of 6-7 stone.
Incredible.
But what I would stress, Scott, it's not about blasting yourself in the gym.
No.
It's about that healthy diet. It's about making those healthy choices. And if you put it into a nutshell, let's eat a little less and let's move a little more, and we can really get that weight off and keep it off, which is all important.
Well, I've got to say, Phil, I mean, you know, from your personal journey, you look absolutely amazing, you know, and it is testament that it does work. I mean, obviously we were talking off air about it's 80% diet and 20% exercise. I mean, why do you think men struggle to find that kind of balance?
I think one of the trouble is that from a man's point of view, we always think of the activity being sort of taking part in the gym, really
the most important.
blasting yourself in the gym, where in reality, you know, you have to do an awful lot of exercise to take off a full fat burger from McDonald's type of thing, you know. So it's all about just being aware of what those calorie intakes should be compared to what we're actually burning. And it's a very individual journey that we're on, Scott. It's different for every guy that gets involved, and that's why we tailor the program to each individual. We'll have a look at what sort of activities are taking place, how much we're eating. We'll probably do a food diary so that we can actually see what's going on. And you'd be amazed how many biscuits get eaten without us actually realising.
I mean, well, you know, and especially with the holiday season round the corner, times are tougher than ever, you know, when you try to keep track of a diet. What advice would you give to someone that's trying to lose weight over the Christmas period?
I think the thing to do is don't think of it as a strict diet. I think it's a case of everything in moderation. The minute you try and restrict everything, then we're just setting ourselves up for a fall.
Yeah.
I mean, I still enjoy my chocolate, I still enjoy my biscuits, but at the end of the day, that's all part of my overall plan, which fits into a nice, healthy diet through the week.
So I'm joined in the studio by Phil Brooks of Slimming Without Women. We're going to be speaking all about that now. Slimming Without Women is for men who are ready to become more active, lose more weight, and feel great about themselves, but don't want to attend a mainstream slimming club. Phil, welcome back.
Thank you very much, Scott.
So, I believe you've got a number of events coming up over the festive period and running well into 2019. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely, Scott. We've got two main groups running week in, week out at the moment.
Sure.
Over in Oldham at the Oasis Academy. That's on a Wednesday evening, 5:30 till 7:30, and we also meet at the Satellite Centre up on Wellington Road in Greenfield. That's on a Friday afternoon at the moment, 4 till 6. The master plan, if I can say that, is that going into the new year, we're going to have 3 big groups running throughout Tameside.
Yep.
So in talks with Active Tameside, we're going to be using their leisure centres, which is absolutely fantastic for them to host us there.
Definitely.
So we're looking at Copley, Ashton Centre and the Medlock sites.
That's in Droylsden, right?
That's in Droylsden.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to sort of spread over the length of Tameside. In addition to those 3 core groups, Scott, what we're looking to do is run little satellite groups for the 8 to 12 week programme.
Yeah.
They'll be hosted in things like health centres, housing hubs, even in workplaces, etc. The big difference here is from the original trials is that when those trials ended, the support ended. What the plan is with these 3 main groups that will be running week in and week out is that as those smaller groups finish, the guys will be welcomed into the main core groups to continue their journey.
Amazing stuff. So what should somebody do if they kind of sat there, Phil, and they're thinking, do you know what, I'm really interested in trying this out, but I'm not quite sure. I mean, what advice would you give to them?
What I'd say, Scott, is please make a phone call to us, have a chat through. I've had a number of chats even today through guys who've already started their journey, and then come to the end. What they're finding is the weight's just beginning to creep back on again. So whether you're ready to start that journey or whether you're ready, you've already been through it and you're ready to start taking that excess back off again, please give us a call on our phone number 07919 917 612. Or you can email me, it's phil@slimmingwithoutwomen.com, and I'd be more than happy to have a chat through with you, or even we could meet up and have a coffee and have a talk about your personal journey.
Well, we'll get of course we'll get those details on our social media. Just search Tameside Radio into your search bar. You'll be able to find full information there. Are you guys on social media?
We have got social media. I must admit I'm not the greatest social media guy, but we are actually on Facebook.
Yep.
SWWCIC, which is Slimming Without Women Community Interest Company, and on Twitter @SWWCIC.
Brilliant, Phil. Well, thank you so much for coming in today. It's been an absolute pleasure having you in the studio, sir. Hope you will pop back in and see us again soon.
Thank you very much indeed, Scott. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you.
Brilliant, Phil. Cheers for that. So if you do want to find out some more information, remember, you can visit Slimming Without Women's website as well. Very, very simple. Just type in www.slimmingwithoutwomen.com. Stay with us. More great music on the way right after this.
Tameside Radio music continues next.